I'm going to do this video in two parts. First part is going to be for the 2.5 and the second part is going to be for the Vortec that's inside. Now, first and foremost, I have to say an amazing thank you to Jason in Germany, who sent me a set of brand fire new injectors for this 2.5. Now why I'm making a point of this video is I want to say to Jason an enormous thank you, and please write to me with your address below, because I want to reimburse you for the shipping costs. That's the least I can do. Now, he had these on the shelf, he'd had them for a long time, and he thought that my use would be better for them. Now I want to say this, and first and foremost to Jason, I'm going to use these as a test, as a known test. I am not going to sell them to the customer. I'm going to use them to test on the engine, and then they're going to go back in the box and on the shelf, because I haven't got a known set of injectors. So that's really helpful, you know, really good. Now, I got my balcony done. It's not 100%. I haven't got the handrail on, but it was our first attempt at making steps, and well, it wasn't too good, but the next set will be, and that's the whole point of this video. Have a go. If you don't have all my videos, if you don't have a go, you'll never find out, and save a bit of money too. It's going to cost nearly $10,000 to do that balcony. We've done it for $1,500. Not bad. As I mentioned during the downtime, that's why I got on with that balcony project, was because I was stuck for parts, and as I thought I mentioned in a video, everything will come at once. And indeed, yesterday was the day. It was the day after a sort of a bank holiday here in Quebec, and I had 5 courier deliveries all in the same day. All the parts have come at once. Amazing. So I'm going to be busy the next few days. So I have been reading the comments on this 2.5, and it has, you know, thrown a few, well, crazy ideas out. One of the crazy ideas, which was something I was thinking, was when Mr. Jameson was round over the weekend. I wonder if there's something wrong with the cam. Now there's an interesting thing. I've been obviously reading your comments, and people have been saying, oh, the injector tubes can be wrong, or the injector pipes are all wrong. If you've ever tried to bend an injector pipe, you'll know you can't bend them. You'll crease them before you'll bend them. So, and I checked the flow on the pipes, and they're not blocked. Pump's good. Injectors have been checked. Now we've got a spare set, we know we can check those again. I checked the piston heights, so there isn't one that's dropped. And if there was, it'd be really obvious, because it's on number 3 and number 4 that's a little bit low. So you'd see a distinct difference. I've checked the cam with the DTI to see if it was nice and round and giving a nice even pattern. Yeah, I checked that. Got the head off. We've done the hot plugs. They've come today, you know, the hot spots, we've got those, so they've come. Well, I'll be showing you that in a separate video, because I found something very interesting. And yeah, so what could it be? Now I have 2 options here, and this is what I want to ask you, and write to me in the comments, because I've got to jump on this job really quick. I have in the container over there a used block for a turbo diesel. Naturally it's got cracked pistons, well, haven't they all? But the thing is, the camshaft is exactly the same, and we knew when that engine was scrapped there was nothing wrong with the actual running, it was just burning oil like nobody's business. So we know the cam was good. At this stage in this repair, do I swap the cam? It's easy to do now, because the head's off, so I can pull out all the little lifters, all the cam followers, take the front cover off, pull the cam out and change it. I'm thinking about doing that. I know it's more work, but I know that if I don't do it and I build it all back up again, it's still got a bloody misfire, well, I've got to take it all back to bits again. And the thing is, you can actually change a camshaft on a Land Rover engine without taking the head off. You simply turn the engine upside down, let the followers drop and pull the front off and pull the cam out. We've done it before. Cheating, eh? So should I change the cam on this engine, and then we can totally eliminate that problem? Now Colin wrote to me, and he had a suspicion and said, well, might be a problem with the cam. How could a cam bend? How could a cam be wrong on 4 lobes? It don't make no sense. And of course, lots of people have wrote and said, oh, the timing's out. Well, if the timing's out, how come it starts at the flick of a switch once after it's been heated up and glowing, and glow plugs have been on? That doesn't make sense. How come when I crack off the first and second injectors that it almost stops the engine? It's just that constant misfire on the rear 2 cylinders. It's a bit of a problem, especially number 3. That's the worst one. So it seems to make sense to me, for costing nothing but a little bit of time, to pull the cam out of a known engine, pop it into there, and job's done. Let me know your thoughts on that. So, next thing, the Vortec. Yesterday, in part of the shipment, I received the manifold here from the Chevy Astro van, or Astra van, I don't know what it's called. This is the original GM manifold, and it was sort of like this on the chassis. It was just sticking over, whereas this one comes out underneath. Perfect. So I should be able to sweep that bend round and do that. So I'm going to do that today. I've got the mountings. Oh, you can't see. You can't see because I got full of parts. I've got the mountings welded in. So all I can do is just drop this engine back in. That's going to work well. What else did I get? I got the clutch bearing. This is the new piece. And you can see it's kind of a complicated piece. You put your clutch pipe on there, and this is a bleeder. And of course, modern day cars have this arrangement where the clutch bearing and the clutch cylinder is all integral in one big unit. And that was about $100. It wasn't really expensive. And it's peace of mind, because I don't want to take all the engine and gearbox out just to replace that and find out it's leaking or faulty. Other thing, this is a nice little gizmo to have. This little adapter here screws on in place of the exterior or remote oil filter, and that allows us, that goes into the housing and allows a filter to be screwed on there, and we do away with all that pipe work. Brilliant. 20 odd bucks, well worth it. Hey, what else did I get in my shipments? I got all sorts of stuff. I got my Britpart shipment. That came in with the rotors and all sorts of bits and pieces. But what came in was this. I was really excited about this. Mike, it just says red rubber grease. I've not seen any for donkey's years, and I was getting really low on it. This is the proper grease that you should use on any rubber components, because it doesn't deteriorate them. And the thing is, there's a lot of different compounds of rubber. We call it rubber, but I don't know, it could be beton, I don't know. There's all sorts of different materials that look like rubber. So why not take a chance and put something like this on? You see, mineral oils and things like that can deteriorate rubber. That's why you use something like that. So I was really pleased that came in. What else? Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to spend most of the morning, put the manifold on this car, and then sort of sling it in without the gearbox. Work out that's all right. Once the sun comes up a bit and starts to warm up the backyard, I'm going to give the clutch a very light sandblast, the outside of it, and just knock all the rust off. And the same at the back of the engine. Knock all the rust off and dust it all off, wash it all off. And then once I'm happy with the manifold and the bits and pieces, then I'll put the engine and box together, sling it into the engine compartment, and then put this on a back burner. I have to do, because I've got to earn some pennies. But now, once the engine's in, I can move it back and forwards, and I can get it in and out the shop. I'll be happy about that. So that's the plan for today. Now, again, going back to that 2.5, I think the cam's the good idea. I don't know what you're thinking, but really, it makes sense. eliminate all possibilities. We'll see you in the next video, because we're going to make that Land Rover better, that's for sure. Bye.